your wisdom and the generosity you've shown in sharing your insights. Sharing this day with you is not just a privilege, it's a reminder of the strength, compassion, and vision that you bring to the world. Thank you for leading the way and inspiring us all.
That's a welcome from my digital twin to you.
So now we're going to, what did you do for? Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. And you know, the topic of the panel was around men and what we can do to support women in the world. And to me, that sounds like a dangerous territory. I don't know about you, but I'm scared about saying that in front of a room full of women. We had for those of you that were at the dinner last night, I got up and spoke about one of the things I want from Global Man and its linkage with Global Woman, and I want to build on top of that. And so, Jung, I'm going to go to you first and say, what are thinking back, when you look at your journey and where you've come to and now being part of Global Man, can you think of things you did in the past, mistakes you made in the past when it came to working with women, what you would do differently now?
How much time do you have?
Well, keep it brief, because there's lots to do.
I think it came down to one particular time, let's say when, let me share this. I actually went to a job interview for a new role, and the lady who was interviewing me, very pleasant, lovely person, and the interview went pretty well, pretty straightforward, nothing remarkable. And my question was, would I, I'm thinking to myself, would I get that? And I actually, she led me out of the office and down to the lobby, just escort me out, in a friendly way, I should say. And she actually said, she made the excuse, I'm not going to take the stairs, we're going to take the lift because of my knees. And I noticed that she was wearing heels, and me thinking, just out of basic consideration, sometimes when you have a bit of back pain, it could be down to heels. And I said, well, have you considered that maybe your heels aren't good for your back pain? And then I realised, oh dear. I didn't quite think that way, I was a bit more important to myself. I said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And I said that, sorry, I apologise, I shouldn't have said that. So I made a faux pas in that respect. So I don't really support myself in saying that, but it was out of kindness, it wasn't due to anything about what she was wearing. But the funny thing is that I got the job because I made that remark. She remembered me, she thought that I would be a good part of it. So no, it was a mistake, but it made her relate to me. That was a mistake.
Great. So Nick, I'm going to move on to you as we go around. So Nick, slightly different question for you. And especially given what you do working with men, where do you see men getting it wrong in the way that they work with women or show up with women most? What are the common mistakes?
Do you know what? I will use this as a general, not so much the people I work with, but what I see. I think there's a lot of great intention, but they don't realise how bad some of their throwaway comments are. You know, I remember going to a breakfast and there were 16 men in the room, and they were the conversation was like this: how can we support women? How can we be better allies? And one guy next to me just made a ha-ha comment, which he thought was funny. And a couple of people laughed, and I pointed out to him, I said, that is exactly what we need to stop doing. Because in your uncomfortableness, you've made that comment. And maybe because you're not feeling that you're equipped to be a better ally. And now people are laughing and almost nodding. Yeah. And what you've just done is undermined the whole point of this conversation. Yeah. But he was mortified. And I think that's the thing, it's just understanding. You have to be congruent with not just saying it, but really trying to put yourselves into their shoes. And if you don't know, which you don't know, because obviously you're a man, right, it's just ask better questions.
Yeah. You don't know, but walking around with nail varnish will help you. Don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
No, I should say, a week ago I had my nails painted, and it was interesting walking around, and there's so many things you can say. So I carried on doing what I normally do, and strangely, the nails got chipped very quickly. So I now understand there's a little bit more, there's quite a lot of effort that goes into keeping your nails right.
It should give me the weekend off then, shouldn't it?
So Sankar, if we come to you, You mentioned in your intro that you're looking to empower 10 million women. Basically, you're teaching them to trade and invest, so that they're not dependent on someone else or a job in order to provide an income for themselves or provide a living for themselves. Linking it back to men working with women, and why have you chosen to do that, and what is it, and how have you found it as well, working with women, lifting them up in order to be able to provide for themselves?
So many women are legends, they're capable of what they need to do, and society somehow or other suppress them. Now, I've seen this again and again, and we have done a survey asking people how many of you are investing, making your money work on your own, and 95% said, we are not doing it because my son does it, my dad does it, my partner does it, my husband does it. Now there's a problem, because if you can give all that skill who are already capable, and you give them that little extra confidence and knowledge, the world will be a different place. Because a son or daughter, a child, learns from the mother. The child sees the world through mother's eyes, and mother introduces the father or the parent to the child. So now, the education starts from the mother. So if you can empower person so that they can go and create wealth, they can be seen as creator of wealth, not consumer of money. And if we can change that mindset, as a man, we can encourage them. Instead of going from a place of ego, go from a place of empathy, give them more support, involve them in the financial conversation in the house, rather than turning that into an argument